If I were to ask you, how healthy are you? What comes to mind? How would you answer that? There's probably a good chance that you would maybe look at the last time you looked in a mirror. What did you see and how did you feel about that? Or the last time you stepped on a scale? Or the last time you worked out and has it been too long? Or the last meal you ate, was that healthy? Now, those are great and all signs of our physical health, which of course is incredibly important for a life well lived. Now, some of you may be thinking about your mental health too, right? The last time you met with a therapist, or how you felt that morning or yesterday morning. Were you waking up happy, ready to go? Were you dragging yourself out of bed, dreading the day? Those are great and important signs of your mental health. But what about your social health? See, this is something that we are recently really coming to terms with. We've always known, but recently we've really come to terms, especially during the pandemic, about how important it is to build and maintain our relationships with each other. The people living in blue zones where they have the longest lifespan, one of the most important indicators is the level of extreme social connection that they find. I think it's pretty obvious by now versus, let's say, in the 50s and 60s, that smoking 15 cigarettes a day is catastrophic for your health. And therefore, our social health, which has the same health impact, we should make sure that we are doing things today to nurture and maintain that social health. This really lit me up. I was hosting a dinner a few months ago, and a friend of mine noted how during the pandemic, while of course we all felt that same malaise and lack of connection and loneliness, and we tried all these different things of Zoom happy hours and weird outdoor meetups and virtual games, we found that we needed a deeper level of social connection. And so he made a practice of every day he would text a few people that he hadn't spoken to in a while. He would try and reach out and meet up with someone virtually for a deeper conversation. And he found that he loved that, and he was able to not only reconnect with people, but go much deeper with his existing relationships. And so you could imagine that his social health increased significantly. And that's something I believe that all of us can take on for ourselves. We all have full control over our social health, and that's important. Whereas previous generations may have relied on their third places, going to a place of worship and belonging to a community or country club where they can just show up and instantly feel like they belong. More and more these days, we don't have those third places. In fact, we don't even have our second place. We oftentimes are living by ourselves and working remotely, which means we may go days or weeks or even longer with no deep social connection. And even if you are surrounded by people in a workplace or in your family or in a community, you can still feel alone, because unless you have that real deep connection with others, then all you have is a series of loose connections and no real social connection to anyone. It's no wonder that more and more these days we are finding that people have fewer and fewer friends. Now, the good news is that just like your physical health, you have full control over your social health too. And just like your physical health, if you choose to improve it, you can implement a variety of actions. You can change or add in a workout schedule. You can control what you eat, when you eat, and how much you eat. You can make sure you're seeing a doctor regularly and taking appropriate vitamins and supplements that will increase your overall health and longevity. The same applies to your social health, right? You can choose that every day you are going to reach out to an old friend. You are going to make sure that once a week you have a coffee meeting, that you organize a running club or a book group or host dinners or cocktail parties. There are a wide variety of actions, but the important thing is that they all take your own initiative. That you can't just be sitting on the couch expecting for people to reach out to you, expecting to get invited. that even if you're surrounded by people, it's still on you to build and maintain your own social health.